what we've got here is Proflavanol C200, and I'm sure you're all familiar with Proflavanol C100, which is an amazing product, and we all love it very much. So what we've got here is twice the potency of the grapeseed extract. So for that, we're paying just a few pounds more, £44.50 as opposed to £38 and 35 SVP. And we've got 56 tablets in the pot. So that's 2 a day for a 28-day cycle, if that's what you want to take.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know much about Proflavanol, I think it's one of USANA's absolutely core products, and it's pretty amazing. We'll go into that a little bit, but what it's doing really and why it works so well with so many people is it's a very powerful weapon against oxidative stress, and we've got a lot of that obviously going on in the 21st century. We've got other particular stresses at the moment. But we've got, like never before, we've got so many chemicals that we're exposed to, and our bodies have to deal with all of that stuff. We've got something like 83,000 chemicals in the air, food and water that we just have to detoxify somehow. And grapeseed extract seems very good at doing that in combination with other things. So it works in combination with vitamin C, and it regenerates vitamin E and does lots of other things, but basically that's what it's doing. And in doing so, I mean, oxidative stress and the free radical theory, all of that, one of the strongest theories of why we age and degenerate. So can't really overstress the importance of something like this.
It's also down to what's in our food as well, because in years gone by, we've relied on our food to have as a source of antioxidants, but now the nutrient level in food has plummeted really because of soil depletion and pesticides and all those considerations.
So Proflavanol C200, as it says there, has got two principal ingredients. One is poly C, the other is the grapeseed extract itself, and we'll go into these things in a little bit more detail in a minute. Poly C is very clever, and we'll be telling you why it's so clever and why it's not just vitamin C, and actually why the grapeseed extract is the creme de la creme, basically, of grapeseed extracts. There's about 30 manufacturers of grapeseed extract in the world, and they are not all the same. They're not all the same. As you might guess, the USANA difference, as with so many things, it just puts USANA a cut above everything else. Some things that we were researching earlier, there was an analysis of 21 different grapeseed extracts. Unbelievably, 9 of them were contaminated with peanut skin. So then you've got a serious allergen contaminating something which is supposed to alleviate various sort of symptoms and allergies and things like that, and things we're not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the individual ingredients, and so we've got the vitamin C and the grapeseed extract. So vitamin C, the RDA for vitamin C is around 70 milligrams, and that is really to prevent you getting scurvy. And scurvy is a deficiency disease that people used to suffer from in the days when they were sailing around the world in the tall ships in the 17th, 18th century, 19th century to some extent, and they weren't getting enough vegetables and fruit. So they were only having tinned or preserved meats and so on. So they weren't getting enough vitamin C, and they found that their bodies were falling apart, because what scurvy is a deficiency of collagen production. And the thing that helps the body to make collagen, or is absolutely essential for the body to make collagen, is vitamin C. And collagen supports everything in the body. It basically holds us together. So your bones and your skin and your your hair, and it's very important, major important protein in the body.
You don't want scurvy.
No,
you don't want scurvy.
Definitely don't want scurvy. So it's in your gums. So if you don't have the collagen in your gums, then your teeth are going to fall out. Your skin is going to start sagging. Your bones are going to break in the places where you had previous breakages. It also affects your nerves and your brain, and you have nightmares, and you wake up dreaming, you dream of food, and you wake up thinking that there's going to be food there, and you plunge into the depths of despair because there's no food there. I mean, it's a really, really terrible disease. So not many of us suffer from it these days, although it is actually coming back in some populations in the West amongst people who are only eating junk food and not eating any vegetables or fruit at all.
Yeah, there was a boy recently who he only ate crisps and bread and what else? I think
sausages,
chocolate and sausages or something like that. Anyway, he was declared legally blind, and it was basically just down to his diet. He's just not getting the basic micronutrients in his diet.
And these deficiency diseases are reappearing. Rickets is another example. Anyway, we won't go into that too much, but most of us are getting the RDA from our fruits and vegetables and from our diet. But vitamin C has so many functions in the body that only act above the RDA. So if you've got enough for the RDA and more, then vitamin C is going to perform these other functions in the body, like giving you energy, and then above that, helping your cardiovascular health, and then above that, which isn't on this slide, helping your immune function.
So Poly C, I said it was clever, and as with everything USANA does, the scientists go to extreme lengths to make sure that they're producing the best kind of stuff. So what they did there was combine, they tested 11 different combinations, I think, from memory, of mixed ascorbates. And what they were looking for was which combination would produce the highest level of vitamin C in the blood for longest. And there's a paper on this, as there is with everything. So this paper is called the Pharmacokinetics of Vitamin C. If you want to go and look it up, it's on Ask the Scientists. And that's one thing. Another thing I love about USANA is how transparent they are. And this is the results of that study. So you can see the Poly C, which is the black blobs there, is basically keeping the vitamin C in the blood, levels up for longer, higher and for longer. So that's what we use in pretty much everything that USANA do, the Booster C, and there is a Poly C product in America actually, and here we've got it in combination with grapeseed extract.
So grapeseed extract is one of those amazing phytonutrients. There are thousands and thousands of them, and they're split into different categories, and grapeseed is in the category of polyphenols. It's a type of flavonoid, and they're known, there's lots of research about them. One of the areas of research is into cardiovascular health. With these phytonutrients, we tend to go looking for these exotic things like acai berry and goji berry, but actually, you know, grapes are everywhere, and we can buy them easily.
And there's a ton of research on them.
There's so much research, and we should definitely not overlook grapes just because we can find them easily. So what about this research? Well, there are lots of areas of research that are a focus of nutritional researchers, including metabolic syndrome and diabetes, blood pressure, cancer development, dementia, kidney health, and general oxidative stress, which we've already mentioned. Probably go into that a little bit more as well. In the nutrition space and naturopathic medicine space, you've got one of the prominent doctors, naturopathic doctors, is Michael Murray, and he has this wonderful book which we would recommend, the Encyclopedia of Natural Medicine. And in there he details lots of different conditions that we suffer from in this day and age, a lot of chronic conditions. And he has a protocol at the end of each chapter, and almost every single protocol that he details has a high-potency multivitamin, followed by fish oil, high-potency distilled fish oil, and then Biomega. And then the third one is always, in 99% of the cases, grapeseed extract. So it's one of the core nutrients as far as he's concerned, and as far as we're concerned in USANA as well.
It's a natural antihistamine as well. It's got so many properties, really, really important stuff. So unfortunately, this is down to me, this slide. So this is sort of, I won't go into this, but it's going deep into the science, and it's, you know, USANA's PhD guys who understand this stuff properly. So firstly, you need to hire people with brains big enough to understand this. That's quite expensive. And you also need the machines that the brains can interpret this stuff from. So in this case, we're talking sort of high performance liquid chromatography and mass spectrometry. And what they're doing is running these raw ingredients through these machines to see, they're looking for particular spikes of active compounds. And you might not notice the difference between one graph and another graph, but these guys obviously do. What you might notice is the top graph is labeled, the units are labeled up to 40. And if you look at the bottom graph, it's only labeled up to 5. And that's because the bottom sample has hardly anything in it. And also it has the spikes in the wrong place. So although I can't interpret this stuff, luckily USANA's scientists can, and then they can determine what's a good grapeseed extract and what's a poor grapeseed extract. And we'll show you that with a little video now. So for those of you who haven't seen this video, I think, you know, a picture tells 1,000 words, maybe a video tells 1,000,000 words, but yeah, please play it. So what's happening here is that this guy with the gloves on is, maybe he's a magician or something, I'm not sure, but he's putting grapeseed extracts from different sources into an iodine solution. So iodine is a strong pro-oxidant, and obviously grapeseed extracts is an antioxidant, and it's cancelling out the activity of iodine, and that's represented by the iodine changing colour, or not changing colour, depending whether the grapeseed extract is any good or not. So here he's just putting in shavings of USANA's Proflavanol from the grapeseed side, and then we're going to mix them up. So would you spend your money on that? Well, it might work a little bit. Would you spend your money on that? You've just poured it down the toilet. Would you spend your money on that? No, because nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. And then this is USANA's one, and you can see the antioxidant activity is really clear. See what I did there? So really, it's obvious what's going on. It's obvious that if you're buying grapeseed extract, it's not all the same stuff, and it's not going to have the same effect on your body if it's not, you know, doing its job. So. This is still me.
Yes.
Okay. So basically now we've got a product that is higher potency. We obviously at higher potencies it can do more basically, and we've got now we've still got the 100, so we can still use that. But if we want to get a bit more power from the effect of this, we can use the 200. Less tablets, less waste, which is really good because we're all wanting to move in an environmentally conscious way, and that's something USANA is thinking about all the time, is how we're going to move that discussion forward as well. And now, yes, we've just got something which I think is really exciting and can help more and more people, basically.
They taste really nice too. They have
do.
a really lovely coating.
Don't hang on to them in your mouth, but just as it goes through, it is a nice sort of berry kind of flavour.
So this is one of the studies that USANA have done in-house, and they do a lot of collaborative research. This one in particular was done with Boston University School of Medicine, and they tested Proflavanol, so grapeseed plus vitamin C, to see how it would affect cardiovascular markers. And they found that it significantly increased circulating blood levels of vitamin C, and it had a positive influence on healthy blood flow. So it affected the lining of the arteries, the wall of the arteries, and helped to dilate them. So various markers were affected and found to be very effective, improved. So now we come on to the activity of the two ingredients together, and they are obviously very effective, highly effective in the body, but they do work together. And USANA wanted to make sure that the two ingredients didn't start interacting together before they went into the body. And the only way to do that is to keep them separate. So you could either have two different tablets in two different pots, but to have this, to make sure that people are taking the right dose of the two ingredients, they wanted to combine them. And they came up with this very clever idea, which they have called their hybrid technology, which is actually patented by USANA. And it allows them to put different ingredients into different layers in the same pill, so that they don't interact with each other. So the ingredients would normally be considered incompatible until you get them in this hybrid technology.
Clever stuff.
Very clever. So
that is about it. That's all from Geek Corner, Nerd Central.